Hi everyone, this is Jeff Hunter with wxhosting.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install Opencart for the first time. If you haven't already, you're going to want to go to the Opencart download page and download the latest version of Opencart. In this case it's version 1.551, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the download link here and save it to my computer. Once you have Opencart downloaded, you'll need to upload that file to your FTP. If you were signing up with our web hosting, you'd get an email from us stating your username and your password. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to my FTP right now. I use a software called FlashFXP. I highly recommend it. I've already got the login details filled in here. I'm going to connect, and on this side here I have my Opencart downloaded file, and I'm going to upload that to the public HTML folder of my website. Once you have that file uploaded, you're going to want to log into your website control panel. If you go back to your welcome email that you received during sign up, you'll have your username and password here. I'm going to copy the password to my clipboard, click on the control panel URL, type in my username, paste in the password, and click login. Now if you're not already familiar with cPanel, a lot of these options can seem a bit overwhelming, but typically you won't need to worry about those too much. So we're going to need to go into File Manager. So we click on there. We're going to go into our web root. And we're going to extract the zip file. I actually apparently already had one, so I'll just delete that. And we're going to extract. Extracting to public HTML. Once that's completed, you can click close, and switching back to FTP. Now you'll see it's going to have created a Opencart version 1.551 folder here. We're going to go in there, go into the upload folder, and we're going to move these files to our web root. And now we can conduct a little bit of cleanup, deleting the Opencart zip file and the Opencart 1.551 folder. Okay, now the htaccess.txt is actually the web instruction file on how SEO is handled and various different things. Now we already have a blank one here, so I'm going to delete that and rename this one without the txt extension. Now before we can proceed with the installation, Opencart recently has added this config distribution option. You actually need to rename these to config.php, both in the web root and in the admin folder, before you can proceed with the install. So once you have those renamed, you can proceed with the installation. Now, before we run the installation, there's one more thing we need to do, which is setting up the database in your control panel. So going back to the web control panel, you're going to want to look into MySQL databases. So we're going to go in there, and we're going to create a new database. In this case, we'll just call it Store. And we also need to create a user, which is just below that. We'll just call it Store as well. We'll use the password generator. I'm going to copy that to my clipboard, tell the system that I'm saving the password, and create the user. Once the user is created, you also need to add that user to the database. I'm going to select all privileges and make changes. You have the user assigned to the database you created for your store. You can now bring up your domain. In our case, it's fasteropencart.com. I'm going to accept the license agreement, and it's going to give you kind of a status readout here. If you're using our hosting, everything by default should be ready to go. I'm going to click on continue, and it's going to ask you for a few settings here. Database host will be localhost. User will be what we had defined in the MySQL setting tab. So in our case here, it's a faster o underscore store. For the password, I still have that in my clipboard from before, and the database name we used the same, and we don't actually want a database prefix. And I'm just going to use admin and type in my email address. And click continue. And it will say that you are finished. Now, before you actually want to log in or go any further, you do want to delete your installation folder. So if we go back to the FTP, well, there's an install folder here. We'll delete that. Once the install folder is deleted, you're done with the installation. You can now either go into your admin panel or into your online shop.